welcome back to the channel. Just a quick update video on the rear wheel drive build. So starting from the top, I've welded in custom wheel tubs. So the whole of the original arch has been cut out and basically folded up a 90-degree lip on the rear quarter. Then made my wheel tubs, spot welded the two together, and then ran a bead of weld right along. I just kind of ground that down, but nice and strong. By adding that 90-degree lip to the quarter, it helps this to not warp as much when you're doing the welding, so quarter's still nice and straight. On the driver's side, I have welded up the fuel filler flap, and then all the stuff underneath has all been patched up as well. This rear cradle is all fully welded in, and I've put a heap of primer into these kind of gaps, but fully welded in, notched for the rear subframe as well. These are the mounting points for the front part of the subframe. They're triangulated down into the cradle as well. I've made up these jacking points, so basically cut out the old axle mounting point and made these new strong jacking points. So it's basically a section of 3 or 4 mil tube, goes right through, and it's welded into the original chassis points as well. And then I've just built this sort of box section around it, and it's welded to the sill, which I've repaired as well. So yeah, it's super strong. So that'll be the main jacking points at the rear. So yeah, same up at the top here. So I'll jack the car up from here, or if it's on the left, it will go from here. The exhaust section, notched the sill for that. Notched the inner sill as well, so it's plated on the inner sill and then plated on the outside there as well. I'll just put some primer over it to stop it rusting. The tunnel itself, this is was the hole for the fuel. It's like an inspection plate. That's all welded up. The tunnel fully welded as well. These are little mounts for the handbrake cables, so they can bore a couple of holes, put some riv nuts in, and they can mount to that. Exhaust mounting brackets are now welded in as well. Another one just here. It's the handbrake. Probably nail some seam sealer in these bits here. Original jacking points are actually in pretty good condition. I had to do a bit of a repair here to the sill, where there's like a hole for the wing to mount to. It was pretty rusty in there, so cut that out, put in some fresh metal, so that's nice and strong now. I was just going to keep the original jacking points to seem to be in good condition. Likewise on this side. So as I mentioned before, I repaired this bit of the sill. Still need to ground this down a bit, but it ties into the new jacking point there, and it also ties into the wheel tub quite nicely, so this is all nice and strong. Used 1.6 mil plate for that to form this lip. So obviously the filler neck used to run in behind here, so cut out all that, patched it all up in here. So I'll no longer be running the filler neck there, I'll just be filling it up from the boot. So I'm going to have a fuel tank sitting in the boot floor here. But yeah, very happy with the outcome of the wheel tubs. Just gives the wheels a bit more room, because I'm running slightly bigger wheels than what this car was designed for. So yeah, moving to the front of the car, the extended strut tops that I made, I've welded them fully in from the underside as well, and that's all just been coated in primer. So yeah, whenever I'm painting stuff, I usually key the surface with some of this red Scotch-Brite. It just kind of scratches it up a bit, so the paint will stick a bit better. Speaking of paint, I'll be using this stuff, epoxy primer, 2 or 3 coats of that. Once that's dry, key it up again, and then I'll be seam sealing everything. I don't actually have the seam sealer yet, but I'm probably just going to use Tiger Seal. Key that up again with the Scotch Brite, and then I'll be using this stuff, Gravitex Plus Stone Chip. I've used that before, I quite like it, it's quite flexible. And you get a nice little gun to apply it with as well on the compressor. So got 3 bottles of that, that should be plenty. Once that's on, again, we'll key it up, and then I'll just give the whole floor a couple coats of base coat. There's plenty of runs, but I was laying it on pretty thick, and it's all going to get covered in stone chip and seam sealer and all that stuff anyway, so I've fitted the front wings back on, starting to shape them up as well. A few dents to try to get out. These wings came from a scrapyard in pretty poor condition. I'm trying to reshape this front section, it was really dented badly in here. Still needs a bit more work, but it's getting there. I've had the same treatment as the rear, with the sort of original arch bits being cut out. And I've just formed like a 90-degree lip, just to give it a bit more strength. And it just gives me a lot more space to run the big 17s, so they can run lock to lock and clear everything. I've also got all this stuff to clean up and refurbish and get painted, because once the floor is painted, the running gear can go on for good. So that's it for this one. Plenty more updates to come on this car as and when I work on it. A couple more videos coming to the Mark 1 as well. Got a new engine for that. I've got some goodies coming for that engine as well, so I will make a video on that. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the usual stuff. Until then, catch you in the next one.